my friends, how you doing, and I hope you well. While you watching this video, you may currently watch the romantic drama film Romance Doll. You can watch while you relax and sit back. Tetsuo can be seen at the beginning of the story 10 years ago. He is a sculptor who completed his studies in America. His senior advised him to visit the factory, but he was unsure of the precise position he would take. In that factory, which makes men's genitalia, he met the woman who also introduced him to the seasoned Mr. Kimji Aikawa, the doll's designer. Here, Mr. Aikawa displayed the dolls he had created. Mr. Aikawa had experimented with PVC, inflatable plastic, and latex. The only one material that works well for dolls is silicone ever since. In addition to being difficult to break, it is also smooth, soft, and comparable to human skin. It is also, and perhaps most importantly, easy to clean. He worked on it for 3 years, but he hasn't yet created a perfect doll that can be compared to a woman's body pussy. Despite this, he isn't giving up hope that he will one day. He also discussed the company's current sales situation and how they are determined to improve it because of their many rivals. After hearing the information and learning the real profession, he ultimately consented because he also needed a job. They immediately started making the doll, and they were thrilled with the outcome, but when their boss touched the doll's boobs, it was despised because of its hardness and size. While eating, Mr. Aikawa had the idea to make a breast from a real woman to make their product look realistic. Tetsuo agreed with the idea, but they needed the real model to volunteer. The boss then gave them the order to repeat what they had already done in the hopes that they can create a doll that will save the company. Soneko is the woman they got as a model, and she is also a live model among the sculpture and paintings. Tetsuo was anxious and trembling when he saw the front of it when Soneko removed it after it was molded. Mr. Aikawa thought that they pretend to be doctors and do their job as doctors for breast implants for women who have lost their breast due to breast cancer. Tetsuo tried to resist Mr. Aikawa's request, but Soneko agreed because she could help the other people. He was asked if he touched Soneko's boobs, and he replied that he liked it but that was not allowed. Tetsuo thought to himself that it was heaven on earth at the time that he was holding them, but he was unable to look directly at Soneko due to his anxiety. When Soneko asked if it was over, Tetsuo looked at her face to see if she was shy. When Soneko left after paying and thanking them, Mr. Aikawa questioned why Tetsuo had suddenly become depressed. When he saw Soneko's abandoned earrings, he immediately ran outside, but it was already far away. He continued to look for Soneko but was fortunate to find her at the station. He borrowed her earrings and she thanked him before revealing that they only cost 500 yen. Soneko then said that the bus fare is more expensive than the earrings. Then Tetsuo admitted that he fell in love with Soneko at first sight and asked if he could be her boyfriend. Soneko was initially shocked but eventually agreed. He revealed to Mr. Aikawa that he and Soneko had begun dating and that he was a little concerned because he had not disclosed his real job. Mr. Aikawa advised him to just be honest, and he joked that perhaps if Soneko learned about his job, they might break up. Mr. Aikawa promised that he would be the one to explain to Soneko. In the following scene, the three of them gathered in a restaurant, and Tetsuo was restless, so he forced Mr. Aikawa to reveal the truth about his profession. Mr. Aikawa was about to say that, but Soneko asked how their medical research was going and he replied that it was fine, which made her happy because he was helping women who had lost their breasts. Mr. Aikawa was unable to admit the truth to Soneko because he saw that Soneko was happy with what she discovered. So Tetsuo made reasons to take a shower for a bit, and while Tetsuo was in the bathroom, Mr. Aikawa found a way to avoid talking about the breast implant by simply asking what she loved about Tetsuo. She added that Tetsuo was awkward and delicate when he handled her private parts of her body, and she thought Tetsuo was a very compassionate guy. The next day, they finalized the doll's model, which their employer loved so much that they immediately presented it to the public and named it Sachiko. Their product was sold and had a significant influence on the public because of its soft and moldable qualities to the actual woman. And here, a new group of marionettes arose from the stall, and according to them, it can cure a broken heart. Many men are happy with it, and one of them is the guy who was questioned about his experience, and according to him, he will not return to have a relationship with a real lady. Tetsuo chose to keep the truth from Soneko while watching the interview. They agreed to marry, live together, and have fun together. Because business was doing well, they were usually busy with work, and even having lunch was rushed by Tetsuo due to the large number of orders for dolls. When Tetsuo returned home at night, their time together was disrupted, especially their time in bed. Tetsuo wanted to make Soneko happy at night, but he couldn't. His wife understood him at the moment, so they just slept. This is how they set up every day for 4 years. Tetsuo and Mr. Aikawa were assigned to study new materials and the development of a brand new product. Is it durable or recyclable? In answer to the boss's need to upgrade, the boss picked elastomeric due of its flexibility and low cost. One day, Mr. Aikawa did not come, and since he lost a bet in the following scene, someone called in their factory and reported that Mr. Aikawa had died, and Tetsuo became more busier because Mr. Aikawa is no longer around to support him. Their boss hired a new employee to help him, but their boss made the wrong choice because he stole the data of their computer, and the boss regretted trusting him immediately. Soneko entered the room before she read her husband's message that they would talk when he got home. When Tetsuo came home from work, he saw the letter from Soneko. The letter states that he will not be able to go home for 3 days because her father is sick and she has to go to see him. That night Soneko's mother called and she was worried because she couldn't contact her daughter. He asked how Soneko's father was doing and the mother said that his condition was okay. After hanging up the phone, he wondered why Soneko said her father was sick if he was okay. 3 days later a man brought Soneko drunk. Tetsuo wants to talk to his wife, but she pleads that she will tell the truth after a week. While working, Tetsuo suddenly became angry at what was happening. A week later the couple talked. Soneko asked what kind of marriage Tetsuo wanted for their husband and wife. He replied to his wife that he wanted their marriage to be happy. Soneko wants them to have communication so that they can be open and honest with each other. And Tetsuo confessed that his real job is that he makes and designs dolls for men. Soneko accepts his job and she just doesn't understand why Tetsuo still doesn't trust her after they've been living together in the same home for so long. In their continued conversation, they admitted that they betrayed each other once when they were not with each other and then apologized for what they had done. Soneko didn't explain why she lied because she knew that they would only end up in divorce. The next day, Soneko prepared to leave early and the divorce papers were ready. When Tetsuo woke up she said goodbye, that she would only be leaving for 2 weeks, and then she showed the divorce papers to Tetsuo. Tetsuo forced his wife to tell her why she wanted a divorce. So Soneko said she had cancer and needed to be operated on immediately. Tetsuo asks why Soneko didn't tell her this. She replied that she tried but he always came home late and he didn't want to wait for him. Soneko also didn't want her parents to worry, so she kept it a secret. Tetsuo could not speak to what he heard and he went to the hospital and found out about his wife's condition. Soneko told her that she has stage 2 breast cancer. After talking and reporting to his boss he went to the hospital. He reconciled with his wife and said he did not want a divorce. Soneko wants to free Tetsuo because she can't give him a child. But according to Tetsuo he didn't marry Soneko because he wanted to have children, but he wanted to be with Soneko. He added that he wants them to start over and he wants to make up for the years he was busy, and they finally reconciled. Tetsuo begged his boss that they would only use silicone as the material to make the dolls. At first his boss preferred to continue the experiment with elastomeric, but in the end he agreed. He promised that he would do his best to make the design that was done before even better. Soneko was released from the hospital and they ate outside. They talked about the project he was working on, that he was having trouble making a hole in a woman's private part. Winter has passed and the cherry blossoms have bloomed. Soneko's pain returned again and the doctor could only give her pain relievers to alleviate the pain she was feeling because there was nothing the doctors could do in her condition. Tetsuo was thinking deeply after going to the hospital. His wife talked to him that she wanted to help him make a doll from her body, especially the hole in the middle part. Then she added that she also wanted to have sex again with Tetsuo. Here Tetsuo was shaking with fear because he hadn't gotten into bed for a long time. They laughed and Soneko suddenly remembered the day of their wedding that Tetsuo wore the ring that he was supposed to introduce to Soneko. Later they became comfortable with each other and started having sex again. The next day Tetsuo started to work and he was drawing the part of his wife and suddenly he was embarrassed. In the morning Tetsuo works on the doll's body and at night Soneko works on him. This is their new day and night routine. Little by little, Tetsuo is building a copy of Soneko's body, and at the same time, Soneko's body is getting thinner and weaker. One night they were happy while next to each other. Tetsuo didn't expect that would be their last night in bed together. Since Soneko's death, the house is messy and it seems like he lost the will to live. He thought of ending his life, so he dipped his head in the washing machine but he couldn't stand the extreme coldness of it. He took the sketch pad and looked at Soneko's face that he had drawn. He continued his work while doing so. He remembered Soneko the day they first met and the happy memories they both had together. Tetsuo didn't stop working until he developed it. He placed it on the bed as if Soneko was waiting for his arrival. Here, Tetsuo can see Soneko drawing her closer to him. Tetsuo undressed immediately and then he started the fight. He was so happy at the time. It can be seen that Tetsuo was consumed by his emotions and imagination that he forgot that he was not the real Soneko. When he felt that he was back to reality he started to cry. In this scene the boss was impressed by Tetsuo's work. He said it really looked like a real person and had life in it. He added that this is what Mr. Aikawa dreamed of, doing something like Tetsuo did, but unfortunately he was unable to do so. Their boss decided to raise the price because Tetsuo's work is very special. It's a limited edition so only 100 people can buy it. In just a few minutes it was sold out immediately. Tetsuo's emotions were mixed at that time, but he was undeniably happy with the outcome. They celebrate the success of their business after the boss heard the feedback and reviews of their product and decided to make Soneko number 2, but Tetsuo begged them to give it a different name. The boss understands this so Tetsuo will take care of it. Tetsuo went to the beach and saw the young people confused about something. He laughed at them when he saw the pack-ing doll. Tetsuo had fun with that thing and they were interested and wanted to try that thing when the day came. The children ran hard when they saw their coach because they just ran away from him. Tetsuo stayed there first and he was happy because of the good reputation and memory Soneko left to the people and him. It also makes sense to himself that there is one he knows and that is her activeness in bed. And this is where the story ends. I hope you like it and don't forget to subscribe and like this video. Thank you idols.